A big championship clash is on for tonight. I'm Matt Carlins, and this is just pro wrestling news for Tuesday, May 25th, 2021. A big welcome to those of you listening on OccupyProWrestling.com. You can bring our updates to your website. Email us, desk@justprowrestlingnews.com.
WWE.
The NXT Championship is on the line tonight. Former champion Finn Balor gets his rematch against Karrion Kross. Also being promoted for tonight, Bobby Fish's first match since his return from injury. He's set to face Pete Dunne. Plus, Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai versus Shotzi, Blackheart, and Ember Moon. The NXT in-ring debut of Franky Monet. And Cameron Grimes faces off with Ted DiBiase. Less than a week after he was released by WWE, the former Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark, posted a lengthy statement on his Instagram. Clark said his termination was the result of speaking out accusations against him that surfaced more than a year ago. Clark gave a detailed account of his version of the events involving two of his accusers, calling their stories, quote, baseless and untrue, end quote. Charlotte Flair will get her one-on-one match against Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship, and it will happen at Hell in a Cell. That match was announced on last night's Raw not long after Charlotte used a cradle to pin Asuka. As for Ripley, she technically lost a beat-the-clock match to Nikki Cross, who survived 2 minutes against Ripley without being beaten. It was Charlotte who goaded Ripley into taking that match. Natalya and Tamina are still the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler appeared to be in position to take back the titles, but Reginald chose the wrong moment to jump up onto the apron. Baszler told Reggie to get lost, but as he walked up the ramp, fire erupted from the stage. That distracted Baszler and allowed Natalya to grab a small package and get the win. Baszler was fuming at Reginald after the match. She grabbed him and demanded he face her one-on-one in a match on next week's Raw. Also now set for next Monday, Drew McIntyre versus Kofi Kingston. The winner will get the shot at WWE champ Bobby Lashley at Hell in a Cell. They actually tried to do McIntyre versus Kingston with the same stakes on last night's Raw, but Lashley and MVP got involved and the referee threw the match out. Sheamus used a handful of tights to pin Humberto Carrillo. Sheamus then tried to beat up Carrillo some more after the match, but Ricochet ran out to make the save. Riddle faced off against Xavier Woods, and it was Riddle getting the win, pinning Woods with the RKO. Jackson Ryker pinned AJ Styles after outside interference from Elias, and Cedric Alexander pinned Shelton Benjamin.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
The latest New Japan wrestler to confirm he tested positive for COVID-19 is Taichi. He told Tokyo Sports he started feeling sick after performing at the Wrestling Dontaku shows earlier this month. Taichi said his symptoms were mild. Meanwhile, some news that could impact foreign talent looking to wrestle in Japan. The U.S. State Department issued a do not travel advisory, citing a, quote, very high level of COVID-19 in the country, end quote.
AEW.
We have a handful of matches announced for tonight's AEW Dark. Brian Cage versus Sonny Kiss, Dark Order's number 10 versus Dylan McQueen, and Nick Comoroto versus Duke Davis. Some familiar faces to fans of New Japan on last night's Dark Elevation. Ren Narita pinned Royce Isaacs with his bridging belly-to-belly suplex, and Rocky Romero used a cradle to pin JD Drake. The Wingmen tried to jump Romero after the match, but best friends, including Romero's former tag partner Trent, ran out for the save. The show ended with them reunited as their old Roppongi Vice theme played. Tonight's NWA Power is being promoted as a season finale, and there are some big matches, including one between Thunder Rosa and Camille. The winner is the number one contender for Serena Deeb's NWA Women's World Championship, but there are added stakes for Thunder Rosa. If she loses, the forbidden door for her is closed and locked, and she can no longer wrestle anywhere other than the NWA. Also on tonight's show, Aaron Stevens and Kratos defend the NWA tag titles against the War Kings, Jack Stane and Crimson. There's a battle royal to decide the number one contender for Nick Aldis's NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. Plus, Aldis himself will be in action. He'll go one-on-one against Mims.
Ring of Honor.
The Ring of Honor tag team titles are staying with the Foundation. Hot Sauce Tracy Williams and Rhett Titus turned away the challenge of Matt Taven and Mike Bennett on ROH's Weekend TV. Fred Yehi used the Koji Clutch to submit the well-traveled Rocky Romero in a Pure Rules match. Also on the show, Flip Gordon demanded a shot at Roosh in the ROH World Championship, but Gordon was interrupted by EC3, who simply said, quote, "You've been warned," and then he left.
Impact Wrestling.
Finally, Impact's Eddie Edwards is back home and recovering after he had his appendix removed. That is Just Pro Wrestling News for Tuesday, May 25th. Our next update comes your way tomorrow morning, so please rate, review, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. I'm Matt Carlins. Thank you for listening.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.